Good to go? Everyone's good? Well, as you can see, they've rolled out the purple carpet. They rolled out the purple carpet here in Gimli, Manitoba, where Crown Royal employs tons of Canadians. We're talking about good paying Canadian jobs supporting our Canadian community here by producing Canadian whiskey, Crown Royal. So I'm here to show support for the workers here and to let the folks here in Gimli know that we got their back. And as a result, I'm calling on Premier Ford to stop his plan when it comes to LCBO taking Crown off the shelves. Now, we know that he's got his issues with Diageo, but here in Manitoba, we're very, very proud of this iconic Canadian brand that has been putting people to work in this community for many, many years. Just a few minutes ago, I was talking to one person who worked here at this plant for 50 years. That's not just a job, that's a career. And when we're talking about Canadian whiskey, it's not going anywhere. The stuff has to be made in Canada in order for this brand to remain viable. So I understand Premier Ford has his different priorities that he's working on, but when we're talking about Team Canada, we have to stay united across the provinces. And having a Team Canada approach can't mean targeting jobs in another province. So I'm encouraging Premier Ford to change his mind. I know he's done a lot of press conferences on this already, but coming to you from the place where Crown Royal puts food on the table for many Canadian families, I think it's the right move here.
Premier, what is the impact of Crown Royal not being sold in Ontario? Ontario is one of the largest purchasers of alcohol on the planet. What is the impact here?
Well, first I'll tell you about the impact that taking American booze off the shelves has had. This is one of the things Canada has done that the Trump administration has paid attention to. They're upset, they're worried, they're nervous about it, so it does have an impact. But right now, I just really want to take this opportunity to encourage my buddy Doug to just not follow through on what he's been saying. We recognize that he's doing his job for the people of Ontario, but the reality is that Ontarians are Canadians just like people here in Gimli. And these jobs here in Gimli are super, super important. When we're talking about Gimli, you got tourism, you got the hospital, you got Crown Royal. This is one of the big employers in town, and it has been for generations. So we need to see that, that support. So again, I called Premier Ford earlier today, and I just extended him that invitation. I said, you know what? The Leafs are playing the Jets this weekend. If you get on your plane and fly here, I'll buy the tickets to the Jets game. We can settle this thing, put a smile on the faces of people here in Gimli, and just put this episode behind us.
Okay, Doug Ford said this, started mentioning this in the fall.
Yeah.
Why are you only coming out now? Was there some attempt at quiet diplomacy before, or were you holding your powder?
I've been speaking to Premier Ford about this for a long time now, and we have seen him make his statements in public. I think more recently you've seen him start to reflect that, yeah, there is this operation here in Manitoba, there is an operation in Quebec as well too. And so I think that's been very important. When he had his press conference, where before it was just speculation, but about a week or so ago, when he had the press conference saying that they were going to move ahead with the LCBO removal of Crown Royal, I was on the phone with him within the next few hours. And I made the case. I said, listen, Gimli, Manitoba is a community an hour north of Winnipeg where Crown Royal is a large employer. And you are going to hurt Canadian jobs. You're going to hurt Manitoba jobs if you follow through with this action. And so I've asked him to reconsider then. I asked him to reconsider again earlier today, and now publicly I'm doing that as well. We're in a unique moment. We're working together on Team Canada against the threat from Trump. So I'm not quick to try to escalate a trade war within Canada. And that's why I want to appeal to my buddy Doug, who I know is a good guy, to do the right thing here and ensure that we're supporting Canadian jobs in every region of the country.
Could you please answer Jeff's question, though, because
Jeff?
One of the biggest taxpayers in Manitoba might pay more excise taxes here. So what is the effect going to be on the provincial coffers and on the economy here if this continues?
If this continues, okay. Yeah, that's all hypothetical. There is no boycott right now. there's been an announcement by Premier Ford. At this interim moment, I want him to reconsider and do a 180 here.
So you're not concerned about the economic?
I'm here in Gimli because I'm standing up for people's jobs. I am concerned for people's jobs here. I spent, the time earlier today talking to the workers because this is about specific families in Gimli being able to put food on the table. This is about ensuring that the Interlake has a large employer. You got people in Gimli, you got people who live on farms nearby, you got people in surrounding communities who've grown up in Winnipeg and in the region, putting food on the table for their families. So this is a really important priority in terms of the economy.
Has Diageo told you what the impact would be of a move like this for obviously not just the plant here, but for farmers in the area?
Well, there is a significant benefit to having this operation here. You got the jobs in the community, you got activity for the farmers. And so one of the other calls that we made right after Premier Ford made his announcement a week or so ago, and we had done this previously, we'd asked Diageo, are you committed to Gimli? Are you committed to these Manitoba jobs? And they said yes. So when Premier Ford made his announcement again, he said publicly that he was concerned everything was going to move south of the border. So we called Diageo and said, are you still committed to Gimli? And they said, yes, we'll give you the verbal reassurance that we're committed to our Gimli employees, but we're putting our money where our mouth is. And so we have Manitoba Hydro that's been contracted to put in a $19 million new transmission line. That project's going to happen this year, 2026. It's going to go into 2027.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't know where the audio went for this, but we're gonna call it good for here. We've heard both sides. We've heard from Premier here, the Premier in Ontario, and I don't know if they're going to come to an agreement on this anywhere along the line. But there's no sense in listening to silence. So we'll be back. Don't forget to leave your opinions on this subject. Should Ontario continue selling Royal Crown even though they're leaving Ontario to go to the U.S. or what? Have a good afternoon.